Daniel, I have a message to share with the whole entire world, and I want to learn how to get paid to speak. This is something that I hear all the time from many people from all around the world. And I believe that if you want to get paid to speak, there are many things that you have to do. So I'm going to explain 10 things that you must do in order to get paid to speak. If your primary motive for getting into this lucrative industry is to only make money, stop watching this video right now. However, if you're driven to share your message and help other people to transform because of the lessons that you have to teach, then continue to watch this video. The speaking business is very easy to get into. It has the lowest barrier of entry, which means that almost everyone from every country and every background can get into it right away. What I'm saying is that anyone can get into this industry. Anyone can write a book, or start a website, or give a speech and earn money in the process of doing it. But in order to do it at the highest level, in order to do it effectively, you have to study the best, and you have to have the resources, tools, and techniques necessary to dominate within this industry. Furthermore, not everyone can make it in this industry. It requires a strong heart, and out of every 100 people, 97 of them give up. Only 3 of them will actually make it because they have the heart to do whatever it takes to make it as a professional speaker. Getting paid as a professional speaker can happen in many different formats. You can create products. You can get paid for speeches. You can get paid for delivering webinars. You can get paid for training and even coaching and consulting. There's so many different ones that I haven't mentioned, but what I want you to know is that there are dozens, maybe even hundreds of ways in which you can get paid by using your words for those who need it the most. Let's dig deeper into what it actually takes to make it big in this multi-billion-dollar business. If you follow these next 10 steps, I promise you that you will be able to dynamically change the way people perceive you and the way you spread your message, and you will become a professional speaker if you're called to do it. The first tip is to study endlessly. This means that you want to choose an expertise in which you choose to conquer and share with the world. I have an expertise in many different fields. One of them is in motivation. I understand why people do the things they do and what really motivates them to become the person that they are. I can look at someone and show them what steps they need to take personally to help them to reach their higher level of success. That is an expertise that is valuable to the marketplace that I can sell for a profit. How did I build this expertise? It didn't come that easy. I had to read hundreds of books, attend dozens of conferences, and hire professional coaches that can help me learn exactly what I needed to know about the field of motivation. But not only that, I had to make countless mistakes in order to build substance behind what it was that I wanted to teach. If you want to become an expert in your field, you have to know everything about what you're about to cover. You have to dig deep. You have to find out all the facts, all the statistics, all the myths, all the answers, and all the questions, and be able to address them when you're speaking on the stage. The marketplace can easily tell if you're an expert or not. Abraham Lincoln once said, "You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time." So you have to know your ingredients if you want to make an excellent dish. There are many people that come to me and say, "Daniel, I'm just a part-time motivational speaker." And the fact is that you cannot be a part-time motivational speaker. You cannot do this business part-time. You cannot be half-hearted. You can't be half motivational and half delusional. You have to be in it all the way, and you have to believe in what you're teaching. If you're going to be motivational, you have to be motivational all the time. And this means that you have to relinquish your fears and actually get into this business full-time and have the faith that you have the motivation necessary to teach other people about their own motivations. Well, the second tip would be to find a place that can help you to build your public speaking skills. And the best place I can think of in this current day is Toastmasters. Keep in mind that this is not the only place to share your message, because there are countless of opportunities available, and in major cities, there are thousands of opportunities where you can go in there and present your topic in a way that people would like to hear. When you join an organization like Toastmasters, you have to realize that many of the people there aren't professional speakers. But either way, you're going to learn what to do and what not to do. Take notes and study the best people possible and implement them in your own way and style of speaking. The third tip is to create your own speech. Whether you go to Toastmasters or Service Club or any other meeting, create a 5 to 10 minute speech that you believe can be very valuable to the audience in which you're about to deliver it. The best way to create a speech is to make a point and tell a story. Or you can tell a story and make a point. If you're going to make a point, it has to be a point that's very impactful. For instance, if you're going to talk about having integrity, you need to have a story that really tells what integrity is all about. Or for instance, you could do it the other way around. You can make a story and then have a point. You can talk about what you did to achieve your biggest goals, and then you can make your point and say you achieved them because you had faith backed by persistence and perseverance. There's a lot of ways to create a speech. I know some people that suggest writing down every single word in your speech. I personally don't do that because I believe I'm an extemporaneous or impromptu speaker. What this means is that I never allow the words to tell me what to say. But what I do instead is that I look into the audience and I formulate a response that is necessary based on what I believe they need to know. On my 3x5 note card, I read out 5 points: introduction, 3 points, and my conclusion. And along the way, I try to write down everything I can use that can help me draw out of my creativity so I can give it to my audience. There are only 4 reasons to give a speech: to entertain, educate, inform, or inspire. Now, if you can mix up all 4 of these elements, you can create one of the greatest speeches on earth. When you're creating a speech, ask the question, why? Why am I doing this? Why do they need to know? And why do they need to listen to me? If you can get this figured out, you can create the most persuasive speech that is necessary for the audience you are about to serve. Now that you have your speech, what do? The 4th tip is to practice. You have to practice what you're about to preach. And the best way to do this is to practice your speech 10 to 20 times before you deliver it. Now, if you're more familiar with your speech, you only have to practice once or twice, depending on your familiarity. Practice your speech as much as possible so that when you deliver it, you're smooth and fluid. Some techniques that I use when I practice my speech is by looking into the mirror and watching my facial expressions and gestures. Another technique is to record what I've said so I can watch it multiple times and learn about my speech and what I'm doing as I'm rehearsing it. A good way to know when your speech is polished is when you practice, it sounds perfect. A lot of times I'll practice so much that I start messing up, and I know that that's when I'm ready. So practice until you feel like the speech is perfect, and eventually you'll be able to deliver it to your audience. The 5th tip is to deliver your speech. There's a lot of people who create a speech and they study it and they practice it, but they never go out there and deliver it. You have to deliver your speech if you want to get paid. There's no way you can ever get paid if you don't get the feedback that you need to tweak your speech and make it even better. When you give your speech, make sure you get some feedback. Ask a couple people to take some notes on what you can do to become better. Evaluate what they've said and be able to use it to create a better speech for the next time you go up in front of an audience. The 6th tip is to create more speeches. It's to develop more topics. You can't just have one speech. You need multiple speeches. You need multiple topics, multiple areas that can benefit many different audiences that you plan to serve. After you've created one speech and delivered it multiple times, create more speeches on different subjects for different audiences. I didn't stop at just motivation. I started talking about branding, finances, sales, and many different subjects. Be able to test the market and find out what they need so you can deliver it to them in the way that they want it the most. Now that you've created many different speeches, it's time to find your keynote. The seventh tip is to find the keynote that you believe can help you to share your story on the highest level. When I say find your keynote, what I'm saying is to find a speech you believe you can polish so that you can deliver it over 100 times. A lot of public speakers make the mistake of trying to give 100 speeches to one audience instead of giving one speech to 100 audiences. The more people you meet, the more faces that you see, and the more you work on your speech, the better off your speech will be. Finding your keynote can take a lot of time. It can take multiple years before you find out what your speech is really about. But if you do this along the way, a few people will like what you say and will be willing to pay you exactly what you're worth to the marketplace. Once you find your keynote, the eighth tip is to develop your signature story. All great public speakers have a signature story that they go to that helps them to share their message in a memorable way. What story do you have that you believe can benefit people the most? This is your signature story. And a signature story is an anchoring story that allows people to really understand and grasp the whole essence of your speech. A lot of great speakers have multiple signature stories, and some could even use it multiple times within the same speech. If you listen to my TED Talk, you can find out what my signature story is, and if you do, make sure you leave a comment below. Your signature story could either be something about you, or it could be about someone else. Find out what exactly it may be and practice it to every single person that you meet. Not only will you be able to master your craft by developing a signature story, but people will remember you as the person who has that one story that can never be told by anyone else. And when you're memorable, you will be paid as a professional speaker. The ninth tip to get paid to speak is to learn the business. Learn exactly what you need to do to establish your brand. What kind of website do you need? Do you need a one-sheet? Do you need products? Do you need additional services? Do you have something that you can offer that no one else can? When you learn the business and find out what your assets are, you can deliver it to the marketplace. If you want to pursue professional speaking as a career, make sure you hire a coach that can hold you accountable to these goals. I firmly believe that no one can enter this business and be successful without having the right mentoring and coaching necessary for them to understand this business on the deepest level. When you start out in this business, you don't know what you don't know. So you have to study this business and understand all the little things that go into it, like sending out contracts and getting the right insurance and meeting up with meeting planners and being able to close the deal when you book a speech. All of these nitty-gritty things are necessary for becoming the quintessential professional speaker. The 10th and last tip is to start charging. It might sound obvious, but a lot of people will give hundreds of speeches, write hundreds of articles, and write dozens of books without being able to charge people for what they have to offer. The best way to start charging is to reach out to certain organizations. Do you want to speak to churches or nonprofits or certain groups that you believe can help pay you exactly what you're worth? There's so many different associations and organizations that are dedicated to helping people to become the best. And if your speech can help them do that, then you will be a paid speaker. I remember the first time I got paid to speak. I was 22 years old and I had already given over 100 speeches. This speech was in front of 25 people, and a woman named Gail Carter came up to me and she asked me, "Daniel, how much do you charge to speak to young adults?" My answer was simple: I don't know. The reason why I didn't know was because I never did it before. I never actually quoted someone my fee. So I told her, I don't know, $100. And she accepted it, and that was my first paid speech. Eventually, I kept on doubling and tripling and quadrupling my fee, and now I get paid tens of thousands of dollars to share my message in front of large audiences. Now that you've gotten these 10 tips, go back into this video and watch it over and over again. I've covered a lot of information, and if you really study this and start to take the steps necessary to become a professional speaker, you will get paid to speak. If you like what I said in this video, make sure you subscribe to this channel so I can give you more. Leave a like and a comment and follow me on other social medias so I can show you exactly what you need to do to reach higher levels of your own success.